Hey, what's up, guys? It's Smasher, and today I'm bringing you some Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier beta action. That was way too many freaking words. I don't know how Tom Clancy does it with all his acronyms all the time, but it's getting ridiculous. So, anyways, yeah, I've been playing this beta. I've played it a few times. First couple days it came out, I had a really hard time getting in, but alas, it is a beta. And so, I've gotten in a few times since then, and this is one of those games that has come out since that point in time. So, hopefully you guys can enjoy it. I did, and just, to preface this a little bit, I cut out a bunch of this because there's a lot of... there's kind of a lot of noob action going on, and I'm doing a lot of noob action myself, and so I cut out some of the deaths and some of the aimless wandering around, because I think this is probably like my third game I played, or some fourth game maybe. I really don't have a whole lot. So, anyways, what is this? I was a huge, I am a huge Tom Clancy's fan. I've played the living crap out of the other Graws. I've played them out of both Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2. And I have been a pretty big fan up until this point. This is a big leap away from that type of gameplay. Rainbow Six and Gra were really slow-paced. They're calculated. They were tactical. This is what seems to me to be like them appeasing the COD kiddies with adding faster action to it. Now, in and of itself, is that necessarily a bad thing? Not necessarily. I'm not a big fan of super fast gameplay and of all the stupid attachments and all that stuff. I like the simplistic stuff. I like the old approach to the way they do games. And you may call me old school or whatever, but I like it when it's a lot simpler. There's not a whole bunch of attachments and all these different... The gun attachments are fine. I don't like all these UAVs and special items. They annoy me. Well, anyways, this is my personal opinion, but get away from that and get back to this beta here. So, since it is a beta, I thought I would just more or less kind of go over what I liked and I didn't like about it, and what I thought that hopefully they change. Now, first and foremost, this game has a ton of potential, in my opinion. 4-player co-op, good. I don't know. I heard people were crying about that on the Ubisoft forums. I was like, why? I don't know. I guess a lot of these people like to play by themselves, but I like the whole 4-player, the squad-based approach that I think Battlefield really brought out into the mainstream over the last couple games they did. I think it's a great approach. The 4-man squad, having 3 independent squads per team, I think that's a great idea. I'm also looking forward to the single-player, or it's not single-player, the co-op, which is going to be single-player. And I am really looking forward to that as well, because I'll have a great time with my buddies jumping in and out of that. That should be a blast for us. So, kind of we're gonna run down a little bit of what's going on. Things that I like, things I don't like. Stuff that I like the squad approach. I like the fact that you have to play as a team, and I really like the fact that you can spawn on your squad. Now, there's not a lot of games out there that allow you to spawn on your squad, but it's a really valuable tool. The one thing they do here is they do restrict how you're able to spawn on your squad, in the aspect of throw a grenade in there real quick. They restrict your ability to. You can't be in combat and you can't be detected to be able to spawn on your squad. But nonetheless, it's still good because your buddies they can back up, and then you can spawn on them like you should. Get together and work as a team. Things that I don't like. So, grenades are a double-edged sword. So I kind of like the grenades, but really I don't. You could take out... You throw a grenade, it's like throwing a goddamn nuclear-tipped missile. I mean, it's like, serious. The blast radius on those things is off the hook. You could take out an entire team within like 50 meters of each other or something with the grenades. They're insane. So, yeah, they're are overpowered, but I hope they take them down a little bit, especially since only one class gets them, and that really gives that class just a massive advantage over everybody else, and that's the rifleman. My experience so far with the shotguns have been their range is really big. I would think that would be a balance issue. You'd want to push that down back a little bit. Of course, you know, that's going to be in Ubisoft's court, whether or not they're going to do that. I always had this complaint with the last Graz, and I'm going to go ahead and throw that out here for this one as well. And you know, it's just that it takes 2 steps to pull up your red dot. So either you can quick in and get like a halfway shot at them, which is bad. The accuracy is terrible, or you can sight in on them with down the barrel, whether it's on your iron sights or it's on a red dot or it's on some sort of optic. And so that I guess is something that I think they need to address as well. The bullet damage is, it takes too many bullets to kill somebody for a GRAW game. And, you know, again, in my opinion, if you're going to be run a GRAW style game, or a Ghost Recon Future Soldier, or whatever, any one of Tom Clancy's games, you take a freaking pick. They all take like 2 bullets to kill somebody. And that's the way it should be, because that's this style of game. This doesn't need to be like freaking Halo or Gears of War, where it takes, you know, 4 grenades and you know, 27 sniper bullets and half an ACR to kill somebody. And that's a bit of an exaggeration, but, you know, realistically speaking, let's look at it this way: is you should be able to pop 3-4 bullets in somebody like you did in the last few iterations of this type of game. And from the Ubisoft Tom Clancy conglomerate, and that you should be able to pop a few bullets in somebody and they die. You really have to pump bullets into people quite a bit now, unless, you know, somebody else has buttered them up like that last person I killed. Like this. If this was another GRAW game, I'd be dead. I took way too many bullets. And so again, I'm hoping there's some sort of hardcore mode that allows it to be, you know, bullets only, but we'll see how that works out. Flashbangs, I don't know if there's one on this video or not, but the flashbangs are freaking stupid, man. They like I understand the premise of flashbangs, right? You know, and I can get why you use them and why you have them in the game, and you know, I'm on board with that idea. You know, if you want to throw a flashbang and it disorients somebody for a second, no problem. That makes sense. When the flashbangs in this game, when you get hit with them, you are completely blinded, completely. Your screen goes white for like 3 or 4 seconds, and you're just sitting there waiting. Meanwhile, the other team's coming up, you know, stabbing you in the neck and teabagging you, because, again, the blast radius on flashbangs is like the grenades. They can flashbang your entire team in like 1 grenade from halfway across the map. So, one other thing that I forgot to tell you about that I do like about this game is the weapon customization. Right, you can put on what is it called? You can put on like different scopes, different buttstocks, different barrels, everything, triggers, the whole 9 yards. You can customize the hell out of everything, and so that's great. I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for. Now, there are pros and cons of that, sure. I'm sure something is going to eventually come out that's going to be completely overpowered than the rest. They definitely have balls for attempting something like that, because supposedly there's over 2 million gun combinations, and that's a lot, man. That's like Borderlands a lot. But I'm hoping that they'll do it right, and I'm assuming that they have some sort of algorithm that balances everything out in the back. That remains to be seen, though. And like I said, I'm not going to really pass judgment on this game. Definitely not going to pass judgment until I pump some serious hours into the final product. Because, you know, again, people judging stuff off of betas is okay. There's a flashbang. Look at this. Hello, flashbang. Like 8 years later, and then I'm like, oh, by the way, you're dead during that time. Anyways. This is a beta. This is not representative of the final build. This is really for server loading and testing, and it's typically when they launch betas like this, it is something in the area, you know, an earlier build. This isn't the final release product. It probably lacks a lot of stuff that they're going to do, and if Ubisoft is smart. They're going to make a lot of changes after this. They're going to get everything situated. So, are these, you know, another issue I have is the way Ubisoft so far is allowing servers to happen. Now, this is a peer-to-peer connection, like Ubisoft is famous for, which, again, I have no problem with a peer-to-peer connection, but they need to go back to where it was like Rainbow Six, so you can start your own room and people can join, and you can host and you can boot people that their pings suck. If I'm gonna be on peer-to-peer and I'm gonna have to play with people whose pings are terrible because you're not allowing me to boot them, it's gonna make the experience suck for everybody. Look, I have nothing against all you guys with bad pings and shitty internet, but you know what? I don't want to play video games with you. And you're just going to lag the room out, you're going to cause problems, and, you know, it's... You sit there and you have to pump 100 rounds into somebody. And you run across these guys in this, and I'm just hoping that they put some sort of host abilities in there so that we can start up our own servers and make sure that they're nice and clean so we can enjoy the experience and keep the experience good for everybody in the room. So, I'm hoping that they have some sort of tutorial when they release the game, because they kind of didn't explain anything in this beta. They just put objectives up, and they're like, do something with this. It just lights up on the screen. And for the most part, I mean, I think a lot of people get it. Oh, look, there's something on the screen. They should probably go over and do it. But a lot of people are just aimlessly walking around looking for kills with their sniper rifles, which is... pretty much any first-person, third-person, any kind of shooter you play these days, you're going to have a bunch of tools running around with sniper rifles, sitting in corners being general bags of douche. But, you know, you're not going to stop the douche canoe snipers ever. They're always going to be around. Anyways, so that's the end of the game. Thanks for watching, guys. And let me know what you think of the beta. I'm really interested to hear. And don't forget to subscribe.